what we're having for dinner would never come out of my mouth. Anybody have that experience?
Yes.
Would you ever walk up to your parents and say, what are we having for dinner?
No.
Would you?
No.
You would, right? Well, when I was raised, it was dinner ready. Come to the table.
Yes.
Set the table. The dinner ready.
Yes. Right.
Not what we're having for dinner.
No.
It also was not, I don't want to eat that. I don't want that. I don't even think I even thought it. Did anybody think it?
Nope.
You didn't even, you might have thought it, but did you say it?
No.
Because what would be the result?
Pain.
Pain or an empty belly for the night?
Yeah.
Because of my personal experience, I said to them, hey, what would you like for dinner? So my kids would say, well, whatever they wanted. And I would take turns on one day you get this, one day you'll get that because of what you like. So my kids now are raised with a word called choice.
Yeah.
Choice. Choice. My generation, and maybe yours, wasn't raised with this word. If you went and was given a room, did you get to say, I don't want that room?
Nope.
Say the word, say it to us. Are you mad? Are you crazy? You're lucky you have a bed. So you didn't even think about it.
That's true.
Well, when I bought a new house and the kids were there, I said, which room do you want? And I let them fight to decide which room they wanted. So they developed choice. Why did I give them choice? Because I realized in growing up that when you don't have choice, it limits a very important word called voice. Voice. Choice and voice goes together. When someone asks you the question, what would you like? It encourages you to voice and voice your opinion, which also allows you to do what?
Think.
Think. Think about who?
Think for yourself.
Yourself and who else? What do I want? What's important to me? Right? So now we've given an entire generation choice and a voice and the opportunity to think about the I. I want this. I like this. I. Why is that important about stress? How do we do that? How do we reduce the stress? By returning to the I, which is choice. So, one of the reasons why people become stressed out is because they forget they have a choice. I have to take care of my mom. I have to go to the groceries. I have to make dinner. I have to. How many's claiming have to? I have to. I have to. Someone's liberated. Tell us how you got liberated.
Retired.
You're retired. He said you're retired.
It's on me now. And if there's any stress, it's because of me.
Okay, so we have someone who, now when you weren't retired, reflect if you mind sharing, when you were not retired, what was different?
I was concerned about my grandchildren, my children, and I always wanted to make sure everybody was happy.
Aha. Worrying about everyone else being happy.
No, I'm not. I'm taking all my money and spending it on myself.
Woohoo! She said she's taking all her money and spending it on herself. You're not leaving it to the grandbabies?
Can I use this word? Hell no.
Hey, sir. Excuse me? No.
I agree with her.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And whatever is left, if it's a penny, they better split it.
Split that penny. So let's go back. So what happened in your life is that you made a decision when you retired. I want to give everyone in this class that I want you to share with everybody in your life. When you hear people starting to complain and talk about how they're worried and how they're stressed out and they blah, 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 and the blah, 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 I want you to remind them they have a choice. They have a choice. And it's years and years and years of training to make you get like this. Amnesia and forgetfulness that you have choice. I already told you. From childhood, I was trained. You're going to eat what you're going to eat. You're going to lay where I gave you. You're going to go where I take you. That's it. And you're going to drive the car I give you. Even the one I tell you to buy, that's what you're going to buy. And for some people, the jobs that they have are the jobs they were told to get. The careers they were told they should participate in. You know? I know a patient who wanted to be her hairdresser her whole life. She loved dialing and styling hair, but she ended up being a nurse. And she hated every day of her life. Every day of her life she hated nursing. But it was not a professional career to be a hairdresser, at least in her family. And so she became a nurse. But she always loved doing hair. She didn't have a choice. But spent over 30 years being unhappy. In a career she was not happy with. I went to med school with some. I even had one young man who almost attempted suicide because he really didn't want to be a doctor, but his whole family was doctors.
That's a bad.
His whole family's doctors, and that was a career. We're a doctor family, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, that's stress.
That is very stressful, but it has to do with choice. We're adults, we're not kids. You get to choose. I'm sure you may know people who've been in violent relationships, whether emotionally or domestic or physically violent relationships, and stay there. Why?
They don't think.
Do they not have a choice, or have they
Brainwash.
forgotten? And there's a whole psychological process that happens to train somebody that they don't have a choice anymore. And that's what violence does.
Some people feel trapped.
Trapped. But feeling traps come from what?
A choice.
Forgetting again the choice. Because when you get forgetful, if the box was this big, it turns into this big. Now, instead of seeing the universe as open and wide and accepting, you see the universe as small and scary. Right? Don't leave this house, because if you leave this house, you're going to get hurt. No one going to take care of you like I take care of you. No one going to love you like I love you. It's dangerous out there. Right? Guilt. Guilt is one of those terms and things you use to help people forget that they're beautiful, that they're adventurous, that they love life, that they like exploring. You tell them it's scary. You tell them, you're going to leave me alone? How many parents use that?
All the time.
How many parents, oh, you don't love me? After all I've done for you.
As if they ask.
It helps in the forgetfulness. And the result, though, I want to bring back, stress increases when you forget the I, which allows choice. Choice enables you to say, you know what? I'm not coming over today. I actually want to go to the gym. If I get time, I will. When that's a choice. Instead, guilt and the removal of choice says, I promised my mom I'm gonna come over, I gotta go.
That's me.
That's me.
But what does it do to the insides? Does it make glee and joy?
No.
Anxiety.
Anxiety, nervousness, anxiousness, worry, fear, guilt, jealousy, all the emotions that are not helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And since we're in the month of mental health, we're talking a lot about the big D,
Depression.
depression. Depression. It is extremely real, but it has a lot to do with the view. Whether you're standing there looking here, or you're there looking here. If I believe I have to clean the house, I have to cook the dinner, I have to pick up the kids, I have to go to my parent, I have to go to work, I have to do this job, with no choice, and all that makes me unhappy, you lead to depression. So how do we unravel that? How did you just wake up one day and say, you know what? I'm gonna take care of me.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
What made you wake up that day and say, it's about the I now?
What you said, I'm retired. I'm responsible for me now.
So you just woke up and said, I'm retired and I'm responsible for me.
Maybe they waited to the retirement date?
Did you set a plan for it?
Yeah.
You set a plan for it.
Yeah.
When I was working, I'm obligated because that's certain things that happen when you work.
Yeah.
Say that again?
I don't want to go to jail, so I,
She said,
that's the word I use. If you don't put me in jail, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
That's something I feel like doing.
okay.
But when you're working, you got to be obligated no matter what, because you got people over you, under you, and around you.
Yes.
But once you retire, that's your world.
That's
Yeah.
your world. So in your mind, I need a whiteboard. So in your mind,
Eraser.
Eraser right
Behind
you
you.
changed,
On the right side.
Right there.
thank you. In your mind, you changed a communication. So I'm gonna leave the word choice up here because it's real important. But I'm going to communicate, give a word that's important. It didn't happen overnight.
Okay.
You don't all of a sudden say to yourself, you know what? I'm gonna start thinking about me. You start doing what everyone said, create a plan. A plan. When you want to get out of a bad experience, whether it's job, relationship, a career, you have to make a plan. You actually have to have a plan. It's almost like I do with my weight loss patients, you know? They say they want to lose weight. I call them the dreamers and the believers. Okay? My weight loss people, I got dreamers and believers. I have a lot of dreamers. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to lose 30 pounds. And they're dreaming of this weight loss. And then I have a team that are believers. I'm going to lose this weight. My dreamers never have a plan. They do a lot of talking and they do very little action. Planning requires action. Okay? If you do not have a plan with action attached to it, you are dreaming. And I don't want to poo-poo on dreams. Okay? I don't want to poo-poo on your dreams. It's good to dreams. Visualization is excellent. Right? But it's not going to reduce stress. Okay? If you are financially strapped, you've got way more bills than money. Dreaming about the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and the lottery that you're going to hit is not going to reduce the financial stress, right? What do you think is going to help your financial stress? You gotta create a plan for reducing the bills to match the income. And that may mean reducing the bills, or it may mean increasing the income. But we need a plan for it, right? Same thing with even relational things. You're in a relationship where we talked about it with Sex 101 last week. You have a partner that used to make you smile and be happy, and all of a sudden that partner is gloom and doom, don't even change your underwear, and don't bathe, and you're not happy. You're not happy. And I said, well, we got to have a plan. And the plan starts with a talk. That's an action. We have to have a little conversation here. This not bathing is a problem. The fact that this house looks a hot mess, and I'm a person who gets excited based on environment, is not going to get you any sex tonight. So let's have a conversation. Let's create a plan where I get what I want and you get what you want. Same thing. Stress reduction requires a plan of action. If you have financial stress, what's the plan? It can't be a dream. Dreams, as I'm saying, have no action. Lots of visualization, but no action. Back to my class, Sex 101, I saw many of you in it. You want to have sex? You want a partner? Ain't nobody want to do their nails. They want to exercise. They don't want to go out nowhere to meet nobody. They don't want to go bowling. They don't want to go to the theater. They don't want to go to church. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to invite somebody to their house. So how are you going to get some sex? How you going to get a partner? How you going to meet it? How's it going to happen? Well, that's a nice dream. But you got to take action. Everybody want to get rich, but nobody want to work. Okay? You got to have a plan. Now, has anyone ever had a child stressor? Yeah, one of them kids, even a relative or godchild, they're just bad, man. They're just bad. They're just bad. Them don't do their homework. Them skip school. Them may not have sex with everybody. They're just bad.
Like a wild child?
One of them wild ones. The teacher call you every day. You talk and talk till you can't talk no more. You beat and beat till you can't beat no more. You ever had one of those? Okay. Anybody had one of them? Or heard about one?